Welcome back. All right, so we got 5 games tonight in the National Hockey League. First board's got the 3 early games. The second board's got the 2 late games. We did have one no mercy game tonight. It's not on the first board. If you guys know what I'm wearing and why, you guys know that's the no mercy game. All right, spoiler alert and all that. All right, so starting things off, we had Calgary in against the Ottawa Senators. This game ended up being pretty darn good at the end. This, and again with Calgary, this is they should have won this in regulation. This is a conversation I've had about Calgary a lot this year, where they should have got the 2 points. They instead get the 1. It's Markstrom versus Sogard. Dubé's denied early on a rush. Zadorov has a shot that's held. The shots are 4-1 Calgary at 3 minutes. At 6:10, after Tkachuk had been involved in a hit that made it look like he might be hurt, he ends up scoring. He buries it on a breakaway. It's only the second shot of the game for Ottawa, and it goes in. Stützle from and it was Tkachuk from Stützle and Hamonic on that one. Backlund then has a shot that's blocked. The Sens clear it out. The Flames press at 9.5 minutes. The Senators blocking again. Sens draw a power play. Then it becomes 38 seconds of 4-on-4. Kadri fires one high. Flames cycle, and eventually Dubé with a perfect tip in front. He scores from Hanifin and Huberdeau at 14:47. There's a screenshot as well. So no chance for Sogard, who had a pretty good game. Sens then go back to the power play. It ends up becoming 1 minute and 36 seconds of 4-on-4. It was an ongoing parade. It was not the worst case of the parade. This one here is the worst case of the parade for the night. Hanifin's denied and close during the 4-on-4. Everything's killed off. The Flames press after. We end up with a 4-on-4 that becomes a 4-on-3. The 44 seconds of 4-on-3 rolls over into the second period. Kadri has a shot deflect out. The Sens finish the kill. The Flames press after it's done. Flames get their 4th power play, and as the power play ends, the Flames score. It is Toffoli from Weegar at 5:55. So it doesn't count as a power play goal, but it might as well. So it's 2-1 Calgary on that one. That was their 20th shot of the game as well, and that's only 25 minutes in. So, yeah, Sogard was facing a lot of rubber. Stützle then has a rush chance that's defended. The Sens up to 16 minutes since their last shot. No pressure on your rookie goalie or anything. Power play for the Sens. Hey guys, can you go down and get a shot or something? Because I'm getting kind of sore from all the pucks hitting me. Anyways, DeBrincat has a shot that's saved during a power play for the Sens. We end up with 4 seconds of 5-on-3. DeBrincat ends up healing a shot during the 5-on-4 that would follow, and everything's killed off there. Tkachuk has a net feed that's picked off. The Flames press with 2.5 minutes left. The Sens get pinned down, but they do finally clear it out. It's 2-1 Calgary going to the third period. Kadri has a rush chance saved. The Flames press at 4 minutes. The Sens pin down again. The Flames actually get a change in. The shots on net, though, are 3 apiece at 5 minutes, so they're not getting that many opportunities out of it. The Flames, though, they would press again, and they would score. It's a tip shot again. It's Dubé from Toffoli and Tanev at 6:40. That was the 31st shot on net. At that stage, Ottawa had 14. So again, you're now down 3-1. You've got your rookie goaltender who's being asked to basically be a hero out there. Batherson has a shot that's caught and held. Huberdeau fires one wide on a rush. What is your problem there, Bunny Rabbit? Anyways, something's ticking her off at my feet. But yeah, Huberdeau fires one wide on a rush. Watson has a tip shot that's held. Tkachuk had a rush chance that was defended. The Flames then press with 4 minutes left, but the goalie gets pulled, and at 17:46, Batherson scores from Stützle. They enjoyed that so much, they pulled the goalie again, and they scored again at 18:32. It's DeBrincat from Stützle and Brandstrom, so we're going overtime. The Flames control early. Stützle steals one, and eventually he scores on a rush. He gets that one at 1:55 from DeBrincat and Tkachuk. So for Calgary, they lose this one 4-3 in overtime. They drop to 25-18-11 with the overtime loss. 11 points lost so far. The Sens go back above 500, 25-24-3. No, it's not over yet. Now they pull within 8 points of that last playoff spot. But they need to go on a run. I keep saying it. This needs to be the time. Shots on goal. In the first period, 11-5 Calgary. Second period, 16-6 in favor of Calgary. 12-9 Ottawa in the third. In the overtime, 2-1 for the Sens. Final shots, 37-25 in favor of Calgary. Power plays, Calgary 1-for-4, Ottawa 0-for-4. The hits, 37-23 Ottawa. Markstrom, not a great night in the end for him. 21 saves on 25 shots. He allows those 3 goals over a short period where they lose the lead and then they lose in overtime. I don't know if Vladar was in if they would have held the lead, but it is a question. It is a conversation to have. Sogard saves 34 out of 37, and again, I thought Sogard played well. So people were like, oh, they need to panic and go out and get another goalie. I don't know that they do, and if they do, I don't think it needs to be a starter. Again, Sogard looked good. All right, next up. Arizona and Nashville. So I wanted to wear an Arizona jersey, and here's why. With the results tonight, Arizona's really close to passing Vancouver. So is San Jose right now. So as a Canuck fan, and we'll discuss this at the end of this video, kind of excited about where things are, because the Canucks, they've never really done the tanking, and it feels like now it's time. And Arizona is still putting in an effort, and they're still winning enough games to make it interesting. So it's Vejmelka versus Lankinen. Early jump for Nashville. There was a press by Nashville 2.5 minutes. They end up getting a power play. Yossi's denied. They cycle. Duchesne couldn't bury one. The Coyotes clear it off. The Coyotes clear it. They kill it off. That's 19 in a row that had been killed off by Arizona to that point. So their penalty kill's been very good for the last while here. Shots are 8-3 for Nashville with 9 minutes left, but it's still scoreless. Keller has a chance that's held on a brief press. There's a near miss then for Keller on a rush. Ritchie's denied as they're exchanging rushes, and then Schmaltz. It's a turnover, and Clayton Keller gets it to Schmaltz. It's a one-timer, great pass by Keller, and it's 17-15. It's 1-0 Arizona. That's your score after one. Second period, early press by the Coyotes. Nashville will get a power play. Yossi fires one wide. Niederreiter has a shot that deflects out as it ends. Predators go back to the power play, and they score on this one. It's Yossi from Granlund to Duchesne at 4:41. So the power play streak ends at 20 that were killed off in a row for Arizona. Shots are 5-0 Preds at 7 minutes, and then Sissons buries one in close at 8:58 from Trennan and Jeannot, and suddenly it's 2-1 Nashville. And I thought, well, Arizona had a nice run in this, but Nashville, who desperately need points right now, clearly they're going to win this. Well, the Coyotes would get a power play and they would score on it. It's Krause from Michelli and Mosier at 12:17. He roofs it through a screen, and Michelli with a behind-the-back pass, which clearly looks planned because it gets done again later in the game. So if Michelli's worked out this magical pass that works when he gets it to Krause, again, I think he's going to end up in the conversation for the Calder. He's not winning it, but I think he'll end up in the conversation, and rightfully so. Preds go back to the power play. Glass has a chance it's held. Nino fires one high. They cycle. It's killed off. There's a near miss for Granlund then on a turnover, but the Coyotes would press to close this, so it's 2-2 after 2. Third period, strong Coyotes forecheck. Ekholm has a chance that deflects high. Sissons is denied in close. He had a very good game. Pressed by Nashville at 4 minutes, but then, and again, the puck goes the other way and it ends up in the net. Krause, Michelli with the assist, and it's a 5-hole goal. It's a great spin pass by Michelli. Again, he's got eyes in the back of his head, is what Krause said. Mosier with the other assist at 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So I believe that's the 20th goal of the season for Krause. He's had a remarkable run this year. It's been fun to watch. Keller then nearly adds another. The shots are 5-2 Coyotes at 6.5 minutes. There's a press by the Predators at 9 minutes because now they're down by 1. Mayo has a wrist shot that's held. 4:36 left. The Preds get a power play. That's killed off. So the penalty kill coming up big tonight for the Arizona Coyotes. There's a goalie pull with 1:40 left. They're pressuring at this point. Empty net misses by Krause and Bjugstad. However, Fisher would hit the empty net. Keller with the assist at 19:07. So Clayton Keller gets a couple of helpers tonight. Mosier with a couple of helpers. Michelli, Krause with a couple of goals. And Arizona wins this one 4-2. They go to 18-28-8 with the win. The Predators, really, this one hurts. 25-20-6. This is why when people talk about strength of schedule, I don't talk about it very much, because you have to win those games, and sometimes those teams at the bottom can hurt you. So shots in this one, 11-8 Nashville in the first, 10-2 Nashville in the second, 10-9 Nashville in the third. They outshot them 31-19. They got Vejmelka. Power plays, Arizona 1-for-1, Nashville 1-for-5. Hits 34-29 Nashville. Vejmelka saves 29 out of 31. Lankinen saves 15 out of 18. So again, they got goal lead tonight, and I thought Arizona had a pretty decent third period. So there you go. The Coyotes pull off a win. Florida, Panthers in against the Minnesota Wild. This was the game that had all the penalties. This could have been a very entertaining game, but it really, really pulls the energy out of the game when you have so many power plays. So it's Bobrovsky versus Gustafsson. Early press by the Panthers. They don't get shots out of that. Lomberg has a net drive. That save. Verhaeghe with a rush chance kicked aside. And here we go. Panthers with a power play. That was killed off. Forsling fires one wide right after that. The Wild then get a turn on the power play. Panthers don't let them set up. They kill that off. Shots are 7-3 for the Panthers with 9 minutes left. They end up getting a second power play. Montour has a blast that's held. Reinhardt's denied, and then there's some pushing. That power play's killed off as well. Eriksson Ek, he has a chance that's saved, and it draws them a power play. So now Minnesota's on the power play. Kaprizov's denied. The Panthers cleared out. They killed that off. Wild finish with momentum. It's scoreless after one and a lot of special teams time. I was really thinking of, back on Simpsons, that's a paddling. Looking at the window, that's a paddling. Paddling the school canoe, oh, you better believe that's a paddling. It felt like the referees in this, everything was a paddling. So second period, early jump for Florida. Eventually they get a goal. It's Luostarinen scoring from Forsling and Cousins at 2:06. So Luostarinen continues to be very prominent for Florida. Nice to see him get a goal as he continues to add to career highs this year. Things get pushy then on a hold by Bobrovsky. The Wild press at 4.5 minutes. They're kept to the outside. Eventually, though, they break through and they score. Kaprizov ties the game from Zuccarello and Addison at 5:15. Foligno would exit soon after that. It looked like it was a knee and ankle. It's definitely lower body related. Did not return to the game. We'll see how long he's going to be out. Panthers draw a power play. We get a shorthanded Dewar break that's saved, but it also draws a penalty to make it 4-on-4 for 55 seconds. Kaprizov to Middleton, near miss. Boldy's denied on a fast break. There's a near miss for Kaprizov. Bobrovsky holds. Everything's killed off. So we're going back to 5-on-5. No, we're not. Wild get another power play. Boldy fires one wide. That's killed off. The Panthers then draw a power play. It's all power plays. The notes on this game, it looks like, oh, he took lots of notes. It's just all power plays. This game was just all the power plays all the time. Killed off. Both teams were 0 for 4 to this point. We're not done the second period yet. Final minute press by Florida as we're finally playing 5-on-5. Then we go to the third period. Bennett has a wraparound that's cleared. There's a power play for the Panthers. It becomes 44 seconds of 5-on-3. During the 5-on-3, there's a goal. Now, I'm watching the Florida feed. Randy Moeller believed that it was reputation that caused Tkachuk not to get, that caused the goalie interference call. The reason is Tkachuk coming across the net, unintentionally his elbow, shoulder area, catches the goalie in the mask and causes his mask to move to the side. The goalie's inside the crease. Any contact from a player outside the crease to a goalie inside the crease before the puck gets there will always be called goalie interference. It's not a penalty. Tkachuk doesn't go to the box. But that was a legit call, and they were talking about it, and I thought, no, it has nothing to do with the fact it's Tkachuk. That's how that's called. If you contact a goalie, especially the mask, and initially I thought maybe he caught the pad. He didn't. He did his best to avoid the goalie, but he didn't. And there wasn't a lot of protests from him after that either. So that's why that goal didn't count. And then Minnesota, buoyed by that, they killed the rest of it off. So they survived that 5-on-3. And then the Panthers get a 7th power play. That's killed off as well. Then the Wild get their 5th power play. That's killed off as well. Things get punchy with 3:59 left, so guess what happens? 2 minutes of 4-on-4, because of course. But we're going to overtime. In the overtime, the Wild controlled early. Kaprizov has a net drive. That saved the Wild cycle. Lindell was minus the stick. They were not able to take advantage of that. Reinhart steals one the Panthers set up. Verhaeghe fires one high, which allows the Wild to get the puck back. Spurgeon's denied in the closing seconds, and Montour couldn't hit the buzzer beater, which, again, the Florida announcers were like, well, that might have counted. You could hear the buzzer before he took the shot. So, yes, if there was an extra second and a half, Montour likely would have finished the game. I'm glad Gustafsson was okay because he took a pretty good hit at that. And then we go to the shootout. In the shootout, the winner is on the stick of Sasha Barkov. Florida wins this one in a shootout. 2-1, they go to 27, 23, and 6. I will say this for Minnesota. They held their own. They do get a point, 28, 20, and 5. So they move 1 point ahead of Colorado, who are playing tomorrow. And so right now for tonight, they're third place in their division. Shots in this one, 18-10 Florida in the first, 10-8 Minnesota in the second, 8-5 Florida in the third, 3-0 Minnesota in the overtime. Final shots, 34-28 Florida. Power plays, 0 for 7 for Florida, 0 for 5 for Minnesota. Dear Lord, there were a lot of calls. Hits 14-10 in favor of Florida. Then Bobrovsky, 27 saves on 28 shots. Gustafsson, 33 saves on 34 shots. Lost in the midst of all this, both goalies were excellent. That being said, I need to change boards. All right, so the last time Detroit beat Vancouver, I saw a comment in the comment section of, he seems sad. He seems sad that Vancouver lost. No, this is what we wanted. Now, if Vancouver is this bad, I do have my... here. So the question of whether or not Vancouver will support a rebuild, I've talked about the market with a rebuild, and I've always been told, no, of course the market will support a rebuild. I don't know if the Canucks are this bad night in and night out that people are going to want to pay $150 for tickets. I'm just throwing that out there. And I think the tank is on. Tonight's game really showed the tank is on. Not from the players, but from management. Getting Horvat off the team has clearly made a big difference in their play. And that third period was awful. But I really do wonder, unless ticket prices drop, I really don't know that people are going to want to pay the amount of money it costs to go to a Canucks game if you know they're just going to get blown out, right? So that's the question. It's never been a matter of whether or not I think fans will support the team doing a rebuild. It's just, will fans pay to watch the carnage that could take place unless the ticket prices drop? I don't know. We'll see. So Husso versus Delia in this one. Larkin has a rush chance, that's saved. Larkin loves playing against Vancouver. Clearly wishes they were in the same division somehow, some way. Wings had the early jump. The shots were 3-0 in their favor 4 minutes in. Stillman flattens Fabry. Fabry did his best to get out of the way, though. Dries couldn't bury on a turnover. And then on a breakaway off a turnover, Larkin scores from Sider at 10:58. Canucks draw a power play. That's killed off. There's a post for Stillman. DiGiuseppe couldn't bury one. Shots are 5 apiece with 4.5 minutes left. So the Canucks generated some opportunities, but not that many. Amon has a tip shot that's kicked aside. The Canucks press with 3 minutes left. Miller has a blast that's blocked. And then with exactly a minute left, the Wings draw a power play, and they score on it. It's Larkin, once again, from Fabry and Bertuzzi at 19:24. So it's 2-0 for Detroit after one. Second period, Dries tips one in on a rush. He scores from Garland. I've got Kuzmenko up there. I know the last I looked at said Bear, but I'm pretty sure Kuzmenko touched it. That's at 1:31. If it ends up being Bear's assist, I'm sorry, these aren't official. It's fine. Miller then has a wraparound that's saved, and it looked like maybe the Canucks had a bit of a chance here. So you're telling me there's a chance. Teams exchange rushes. The Wings press at 3.5 minutes. The shots are 4-1 Vancouver at 5 minutes, but on a rebound during a pretty good press by Detroit, Fabry scores. Rasmussen and Sherratt with the assists at 8:09. Veleno then had a 2-on-1 chance. That's fired wide. The Canucks press at 6.5 minutes. They end up getting a power play. Besser couldn't bury on a rush during that power play. Pettersson fires one high. His next chance was saved. That was killed off. JT Miller had an opportunity. Couldn't quite bury it after that. 3:37 left. The Canucks go back to the power play. Beauvillier hits a crossbar. That's as close as they get. That's killed off as well. And the Canucks press in the final minute. So third period, 40 seconds in, Lindstrom gets his first goal of the season from Rasmussen. The Canucks press to respond. They don't get shots, though. The shots on net are 4-0 Detroit at 4 minutes. And at 5:19, on a 2-on-1 during a lousy change by the Canucks, you have to get the puck in the other team's zone. They didn't. Suter scores from Sundqvist and Lindstrom at 5:19. Berggren then adds another from Veleno and Hronek at 7:52. Canucks get a power play. That was killed off. Husso then got a delay of game call with 59 seconds left. He just pulled the net off. And apparently, and I didn't know this either, if you pull the net off as the goaltender in the final minute of a period, that's a penalty shot. So it had to be a player that was on the ice at the time, and so they give DiGiuseppe the chance, and he hits the post, which means the Cobra Kai No Mercy magnet stays on. It has to be more than a 4-goal difference. And that's where it ends up. 6-1 for Detroit. They go to 24-20-8 with the win. It's the first game of a 5-game road trip. For the Canucks, 21-29-4. The tank is on. I do kind of wish I had a Canucks logo that was like tank related. I think that'd be great. Anyways, the shots in this one, 7 apiece in the first, 11-6 Vancouver in the second, 12-10 Vancouver in the third. Yeah, I could probably get tank stickers and put logos. I probably could. Final shots, 30-23 for Vancouver. Power plays. Detroit scored on the only one they had, so the penalty kill lives up to its advanced billing. The Canucks 0 for 4 on their power play hits, 22-15 Vancouver. Husso saves 29 out of 30. He was good. Delia, 17 saves on 23 shots, a 739 save percentage. I believe the Canucks are still at the bottom of the league in save percentage. It's really sunk them. This is the 11th time at home that the Canucks have given up 5 or more goals. And again, what's the price point where Canuck fans are going to want to sell out a building where the team's probably going to get annihilated? And so I don't know that we necessarily know the answer to that. All right, next up, Buffalo and the LA Kings. I really thought Copley was going to get back-to-back shutouts. I did. I honestly thought that was going to happen. And then Buffalo, a little bit of pride, I think, kicked in for the Sabres and just not wanting to get destroyed in this one. So it's Anderson versus Copley. Early jump for the Kings, but not very many shots on net early. It was only 1 apiece at 4 minutes. Both teams were defending well. A lot of block shots back and forth. Fiala has a rush chance to deflect wide. Iafallo has a shot that's blocked. Buffalo clears it out. The Kings were dangerous in transition in that first period, and in general they are. Darlene has a chance that's caught and held. There's a power play for the Sabres. That's killed off. The Kings press with 8 minutes left. Arvidsson has a shot that's held. The Kings press. They were a post away from the lead. They'd eventually get it anyways, right? Kings end up on the penalty kill with 2:19 left as the Sabres draw their second power play. There was a post for Middlestad. They don't actually generate a shot on either of those first two power plays. So that was kind of rough for them. So we're going to the second period scoreless. Thompson couldn't bury one in close. The Kings get a power play. Sabres do not let them set up. They do kill that off. Tuck then had a rush chance that deflects out. The shots are 2-1 for the Sabres at 6 minutes. Arvidsson whiffed on one from the slot. And I mean, he was going to drill it. And he completely missed the puck. So I thought that was worthy of being put on the board there. Darlene's then robbed. Copley holds. Thompson goes beast mode and draws a power play in going beast mode. However, during the power play on a turnover, Kempe scores a shorthanded goal from Lizotte at 9:20. Kings finish the kill. They press after. Then there's too many Sabres on the ice. So that means it's Kings power play, and they score on it. It's Kaliev with his 10th of the season from Danault and Arvidsson at 12:35. And it was right off the opening face-off on that power play. They did not waste any time getting that one. Then there's a post for Fiala on a net drive. The Sabres get a power play. That's killed off. And then Sean Walker would score one from Danault and Arvidsson at 18:41 as they're pressing. And then on a rush at 19:14, Matt Roy scores one from Kempe. So it's 4-0 after 2. This game was done. Third period. Early jump for the Kings. Olofsson then has a shot that's held. The Kings get a power play, and they score on this one too. It's Arvidsson from Danault and Dursey at 5:14, and he taps it in that the puck comes off a stanchion, and Anderson just lost the puck. It was at his feet. He didn't know where it was, and Arvidsson just comes in and puts it in the net. Moore then can't bury on a 2-on-1 as they're looking for another. However, Cousins would score on a rush from Olofsson and Middlestad at 10:18. Sabres then draw a power play. Things get punchy on a hold by Copley. Again, it felt like Buffalo was just ticked off at this point in the game. They would score too. Krebs scores from Olofsson and Middlestad at 15:09 to make it 5-2. They almost scored the next shift, and if they'd made it 5-3, things could have got really tense, but they don't. The final score is 5-2. LA goes to 30, 18, and 7, so that's 67 points for them. For Buffalo, really tough loss, 26, 22, and 4. Buffalo's playoff chances take another hit in this one tonight. They're now in a position where 48. I think they're now chasing Detroit as well. So just the number of teams ahead of them and the number of points they have to make up, it gets really, really daunting. Shots in this one: 7-5 LA in the first, 11-10 Buffalo in the second, 13-11 Buffalo in the third. They do outshoot LA 29-28. Power plays: 1 for 5 for Buffalo, 2 for 3 for LA. Hits: 17-12 for Buffalo. Anderson saves 23 out of 28, and Copley saves 27 out of 29. So Copley has another good game. He does not get the back-to-back shutouts, but still his numbers climbing just that little bit. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.